Hello, those at home and at sea. Welcome one and all to North Richland Hills, Texas. My name is Christopher Walken, and I'm joined here with the lovely RPG.
Hello, everyone.
I know my headphones sound funny for some reason. I don't know why. I'm going to have to switch headphones, I think. Pardon me.
So right now we are getting ready for the Texas Chainsaws going up against the Tampa Bruce Crew. Each one of these teams so far in this tournament has had 1 win and 2 losses. So starting with the Texas Roller Girls roster, we have 101, I'll Be Back. 13, Thugs Bunny. 133, S. Payne. 14, Cold Case. 17, Bacon Envy. Number 2, Me Shove You Long Time. Number 210, Vile Vixen. 2113, Delirium Trigger. 226, Tarot Bite. 32, Sassy. 48, Spread Eagle. 6, Fleur de Lethal. 68, Huff Love. 69, Dardar Binks. And 93, Helatrix Lestrange.
And rolling for the Tampa Roller Derby Bruise Crew, we will have 00 Cookie Jarred, 021 Rehab Reject, 090 Moulin Rude, captain of the team for this bout, 10 Dottie Damage, 2323 Riot Rayhem, 241 Burger Queen, 305 Smash Tag, 31 Snow Stoppin', 401 Inducin' Pain, 41 Phoenix, 411 Stout, 446 Red Stiletto, 50 Rojo Grande, 620 Stella Knockout, 8 Iva Grudge. That is your Tampa Bay Bruise Crew. We are coming up on first whistle, and there we go. On the line for Texas, we have Delirium Trigger. And I did not catch. It looks like we have...
That's number 23 Riot Rayhem.
There you go.
That is a 0-0 jam. Time for everyone to hydrate.
Hydrate. Texas will roll out Dardar Binks on the line. And donning the star for Tampa Bruise Crew is Stout. We can play. Ten continuous blockers and jammers making their way around the apex. And Stout is out of the pack as lead jammer.
Did finally get around Vile Vixen, trying to block with that one final blocker, but unable to stop Stout. Stout back around and picking up points. 1 blocker left to beat. That's 17 Bacon Envy up front. 5 points go up for Tampa.
Dardar Binks makes way out of the pack after a slight star stash. All the time as Stout makes way through the pack, scores another set of points. Looks like we're going to be ending up at a...
It's a 1-9 jam in favor of Tampa. Looks like Texas has lost their pivot Vile Vixen to the penalty box. Right now we've got number 32 Sassy going up against 620 Stella Knockout.
Good morning to all at home, I should say also. Thank you for tuning in.
The pack spreading out a little bit, a forearm penalty on a Tampa blocker. We're going to lose number 31, Snow Stoppin', to the penalty box. Texas coming out lead. Looks like Tampa's also losing number 50, Rojo Grande. And, just so many penalties. Texas losing 48 as well, Spread Eagle. Both jammers come out of the pack. Texas picks up 5 points. Tampa completing that initial pass. Ooh, Sassy with a really nice backwards pass. Picking up 4 points on one skate. Looks like that was 4. There's no thumb there. I think that's just a nice glare coming off the hand that mixed with the metal.
I thought I saw a wiggle. I'm like, why is that wiggling? Okay, but then it went back in. So yeah, I agree. 4 points. That's for sure.
Going into jam number 4, 26 minutes, 50 seconds left. Texas at 10 and Tampa at 9. So 1 point game so far.
On the line for Tampa, we have Rehab Reject. It looks like we have number 13, Thugs Bunny, rolling with the star for Texas. And Rehab Reject quickly gets lead jammer.
And it looks like a high block on Thugs Bunny. Thugs Bunny going to give Rehab Reject a power jam temporarily. However, Rehab Reject called on a forearm penalty that will go ahead and do a little bit of jammer swap. We're going to wait around in turn number 1 while a jammer returns to the track.
Little jammer do-si-do in the Justin Timberlake penalty box. Keeps it in those checks, Justin Timberlake.
Looks like 41 Phoenix for Tampa headed to the penalty box. Both jammers back out on the track and re-engaged. The pack very tight just there for a minute on turn number 2, but it does kind of spread out. Rehab Reject picking up 5 points.
Got less than 1 minute left in this jam. Going to go the full 2 minutes, obviously, as both jammers had gone to the box. Well, the leg jammer had gone to the box. Talking's hard in the morning.
That's Tampa 50 Rojo Grande.
Going to the penalty box with a forearm call.
Thugs Bunny looking for an apex jump. Does not complete it, though. Both jammers forced to recycle into the back, so we're in the back straightaway. That is Spread Eagle.
Spread Eagle being sent to the to the box.
So it looks like that's an 11-9 jam in favor of Texas, 21-18.
So coming up on 24 minutes left in the game, we only got a 3-point match, which is super. That's all we want is good derby today. On the line, we will have 10. Dottie Damage for Tampa. And for Texas, we will have...
That's Delirium Trigger, White 213.
Delirium stretching out that pack to...
Just one blocker left. That was Inducing Pain for Tampa, trying to do some one-on-one blocking there. Delirium Trigger with a really nice juke, though, to kind of free herself.
Quickly through that pack. Little balance on that inside apex line. Scoring a big 5 points.
Texas taking advantage of this power jam right now, as Dottie Damage is sitting in that penalty box.
Dottie does stand in the penalty box, ready to come in.
A full 10 points for Delirium Trigger in Texas during that that power jam. Excuse me.
Power jam.
Power jam.
Microphones are fun to play with.
They are. We do that awfully a lot, it seems like, especially on weekends like this.
Yes, bridging.
I think that's number 31, Snow Stoppin', hanging out right there up front with some really fantastic one-on-one blocking. Does finally get the out-of-play call, and will go to the Tampa penalty box.
Killing that clock, letting that clock eat up time.
Yep.
Good job on Tampa on that one.
Looks like we have a star pass to 50, Rojo Grande.
And she garnered the star pass whistles.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cliche, but, you know,
so
it's
very
roller derby.
Cliche. Lining up on the line right now, we have Riot Rayham going up against, that's number 69, Dardar Binks.
40-18 score. Just at 22 minutes left to play in this half.
So I understand that we are having some issues trying to get that scoreboard overlay on our feed right now. So We will continue to try to keep you updated with times and jam numbers as much as we can and scores. So right now we are in jam number 6. We have 21 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Texas sitting at 40. Tampa sitting at 18. Dardar Binks completing the initial pass for Texas. Right, Raham, lead jammer and completing the scoring pass. 4 points going to Tampa. That takes them to 22 points.
So we got a Texas 40, Tampa 22.
Looks like rolling up on the line for Tampa is 4'11" Stout and 32 Sassy. And a bit of a pivot start as we hit that 5 seconds, but they are going to back up.
Faked you out.
Faked you out. They always like to do that. As you know, as someone who jam times as well, that is the most frustrating thing in the world is as a jam timer to try to stay out of that IPR's way.
Right.
And then they all move just as you've figured everything out. And you're like, really?
Step.
Yes, and it looks like we have Sassy picking up a lead jammer for Texas. They're in turn number 2. Texas losing a couple of blockers to the penalty box.
Stout gets out of the pack, throwing Cold Case to the side. While pretty equal in height, there's a little bit of thickness difference between Stout and Cold Case, and it was kind of shown as Stout broke out of that pack. That ended up being a 4-0 jam in favor of Texas, bringing us to 44-22 in favor of Texas. We're at 20-20 left in this half. We got Thugs Bunny on the line for Texas.
And that's 620 Stella knockout for Tampa. We are all locked up on that jam line as both of those packs kind of collapsed on each other. Texas doing some really nice 2 blocking, as that was a 2-4 pack advantage at the start of the jam. But we are going to have Stella knockout out first for lead. There's just not a lot you can do when you're at a 2-4 pack disadvantage. That is 210 up front. Vile Vixen trying to do some really great one-on-one. Does slow Stella knockout down for a minute, just for a second or so.
Yeah, if it was for a minute, that'd be a really long time.
Yeah, that'd be some impressive one-on-one blocking. Excuse me, a second or so.
Nitpicking. Stella,
Bugs Bunny trying to get that final little apex jump, unable to complete it.
Stella breaks through that pack and quickly calls it off. So that ended up being a 9-0 jam in favor of Tampa, bringing the score to 44-31, right at 19 minutes to go in the half.
So going into jam number 8, we have the penalty box cleared out for a moment. Delirium Trigger going up against Rehab Reject. Rehab Reject bouncing off that back Texas wall. Delirium Trigger pushing up front. We have a no pack right now. Looks like they're going to try to drop back and do some bridging, but I heard a whistle in there for a failure to reform penalty. That's what I assume it is. It's an illegal position, whatever it is. It's 226 terabytes. So pack comes back together there kind of in, as I think I heard, turn 1.5.
We have a cut being called on Rehab Reject. Going to the box.
Delirium Trigger on the power jam. No lead jammer associated yet or awarded yet. There's the word I'm looking for. Delirium going to push up against that's 401 and Deuce in Pain with 1 left to beat. Trying to juke around.
Tampa's bridging has been working really well so far early in this game.
Lead jammer is finally awarded to Delirium Trigger.
Oof.
This is a good opportunity for me to say that Delirium Trigger would like to wish DJ TJ a happy birthday, as his birthday was yesterday.
Aww.
He is an announcer friend of ours that's in the house right now watching. So it's good to have him with us.
There you go.
5 points on the board so far for Delirium Trigger. Rehab Reject out of that penalty box and re-engage with the pack.
We're at a full 5-on-5 on the sport court.
Ooh, that was so beautiful.
Toe stop work along the outside apex.
That nice little toe stop shuffle.
Crab walking.
Yeah.
Crab walking on that apex for Rehab Reject. You'll see Rehab Reject skating a little slow. She was doing that a little bit yesterday. Talked to her before the game. Just a little worn out, she said. Not really hurt. Just just a little worn out for the weekend.
So jam comes to an end. 10 points for Texas, 4 for Tampa, 54 for Texas, 35 overall for Tampa Brews Crew, with 16 minutes, 40-something seconds left. Jam number 9.
Got Cookie Jar jamming for the first time for Tampa up on that line.
For this game, now we have seen Cookie Jar for Tampa come in and out this weekend.
But
first time this game.
This game, yes.
But for this weekend, Cookie Jar has been on and off of their roster throughout this tournament.
Right.
So good to see her back jamming.
And then we got Dar Dar Binks in there for Texas. And we got a couple stout walls going on for both teams.
We're losing 41 Phoenix for Tampa to the penalty box. Really nice kind of rotation from each of these 3 walls is they're really being able to cover both of those lines and getting all the way to that line, not leaving kind of any opening there. Texas having to bridge back just a little bit as the pack kind of starts to spread out. But neither team wanting to really give up that bridge.
Boy, no, yeah, it's...
Texas sending a blocker up front to do some offensive blocking while they have that pack advantage. But Jar Jar Binks, both jammers just having a really hard time right now trying to find an opening.
Tampa being one blocker down. It's been really interesting. And they've gotten through turn 2 and had burned up enough time to allow their jammer to come back in.
1 minute and 20 seconds consumed just trying to get a lead jammer as Cookie Jar does pick up that lead jammer for Tampa. There is a star stash, it looks like, for Dar Dar Binks right now. Dar Dar Binks completing that initial there in turn number 3. Cookie Jar is going to call off that jam as Dar Dar Binks came around trying to pick up some points. 5 points for Tampa.
That brings us to 54 Texas, Tampa 40. Coming up on 14:30 left in this half. Donning the star for Texas, it will be Thugs Bunny and then a bent over Tampa player. It looks like I would assume it's Rehab Reject.
I think that might be Berger.
Oh.
Nope, 23.
23.
Right, Raham. There's a couple there that start with a 2. It's a little hard to figure out who that is.
The 0, I screwed up a 0.
Yeah. Things happen.
Yes.
It looks like we've got a couple of blocker penalties coming in. Looks like...
One for each team.
Looks like red stiletto for Tampa, and I don't know. Oh, there's number 14. That's cold case for Texas. And there's another one in there that I can't see the armbands of.
And all the while, Riot Raham has collected lead jammer.
And 4 points apiece for each of these jammers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Thugs Bunny is actually lead.
Thugs Bunny. Yeah, there's the little white wrist strap there. On War Kitten. An official from Assassination City. She's our head official. Love her. Shout out and all the love. And we'll go through that full list of officials later on in this game. Thugs Bunny coming out 4 more points, so that is, and as well as Riot Raham, it's an 8-8 jam so far.
I know.
So coming out in that jam at the end, it was an 11-8 jam in favor of Texas. Texas sitting at 65, Tampa sitting at 48. Paperwork struggles for the announcers here as we try to get ourselves organized.
No, not for the announcers, just for walking. Stupid paper.
Oh. Sassy on the line for Texas. And that is, it looks like Stout. Yeah, that's Stout for Tampa. I lost them just for a moment. But Sassy completing that initial pass. It looks like there was a no pass, no penalty there, so she is not lead jammer.
Things are hard to see on the farther apex
hear a
for sure.
forearm penalty on 210. Vile Vixen there. So Texas is losing that pivot, but Stout's going to pick up lead and call it off. It looks like there's going to be an official review coming in from Tampa. So right now, before we go into our sponsor reads, we have 2 points for Texas, 67, Tampa Bruce Crew at 48. And we are paused at 11 minutes and 50 seconds in our first period.
Hey, why don't I read you something about Bont boots, Bont skates. They're lighter, Bont skates are stronger, Bont skates are faster. They're fully heat moldable, carbon fiber boots, Athena plates with Evolve wheels. Bont skates. This is titled an announcer mention. I just so happen to mention Bont skates.
Yeah, and if you are headed over here to our venue at the NYTEX Sports Center in North Richland Hills, later on today you can check them out. They have a booth in our vendor village. Actually, I look over and I see a couple of local skaters from Assassination City that are checking out the Bont table. I think I'm seeing Goomba Toomba over there. I love her derby name. It makes me so happy.
What is
Boing,
that? What
boing.
is that name again?
So it's Goomba Toomba. It's actually like a Mario. It's a Mario.
Oh, okay. So now we're talking generational. I don't understand what that is.
So when we do our home league stuff, we have a sound effects panel. And there are so many fantastic little Mario sound effects. The boing, boing, boing.
That is so
Apex
cool.
jumps, you do a boing, boing.
Oh, that is awesome.
It kind of lends itself to a wonderful series of sounds there.
That's perfect for home team season.
We will get an update on that official review from Ding Ding momentarily as she is walking over here. On the line right now, we have 620 Stella Knockout going up against Delirium Trigger 2113 for Texas.
We have Tampa with a 4-3 blocker advantage, and it shows in...
Just for a second, though.
Yeah, just
You
for a
said
second. Just as, right? Allowing Tampa to get lead jammer.
Still
a knockout. Both jammers back into the pack.
Interesting seeing Vile Vixen come out of that pack and kind of immediately do some offensive blocking for Delirium Trigger. But Delirium Trigger called on a track cut penalty. This puts Tampa on lead jam and the power jam all at the same time. A couple of different blocking penalties. And, wow. Okay. Vile Vixen, an illegal position, illegal contact call, as well as an in-sub for not leaving the track appropriately. We have seen so many in-subs for not leaving the track appropriately this weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Teams, please work on those in-subs. Make sure everybody knows these things.
Right.
Because I've seen at least like 6 of them this weekend.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit.
A lot. So Delirium Trigger released from the penalty box right at the end of the jam. It looks like we've got a 14-3 point advantage for Tampa. So Tampa at 62, Texas at 70. They are narrowing that lead. It had kind of gotten up quite a bit earlier, but that 14-3 really narrows that down.
Yeah, taking quick bites early while they can.
Well, that power jam just that shows you the power of a singular power jam. That one singular
an effective
jammer,
power jam.
Yeah,
right?
That one singular jammer penalty can really give you that opportunity to kind of bridge a score gap very, very quickly. Thugs Bunny wearing the star for Texas, and I think it's Dottie damage for Tampa.
And Dottie's been assessed a penalty and will go to the Justin Timberlake penalty box to think about it. So we have another power jam for Texas.
So the update on the official review that we had earlier, Tampa was requesting a track cut on the white jammer a couple of jams ago. the OPRs confirmed that there was no track cut and the review is not retained on that.
So there you go.
Tampa penalty box nice and full.
There's a 5 points for Texas. Brings to 75-62 at the moment, mid-jam. Successful line jump at the end of turn 2, but knocked out immediately and having to recycle back is Dottie Damage.
It looks like that was an illegal procedure call on 241. I believe that's Burger Queen.
Yes, Burger Queen.
So Burger Queen, it looks like is sitting as the pivot with...
the star has been tossed back onto the track.
It's tossed onto the track, and the jammer, Dottie Damage, is sitting in the penalty box for Tampa as well. So no jammer and no pivot for Tampa. End of the jam means they can go retrieve the star.
It's funny when we get that penalty, the passing penalty, every time the announcers all kind of slow down and try to talk to figure it out. Oh, no, it's on the floor. So that might mean.
You've got to, I mean, it takes a minute to, like, watch all the refs and, like, watch the ref confusion happening because there's confusion there, too,
and
every time.
It's going to take everybody on the track a timeout to figure it out. So.
And so, it looks like this is a team timeout, actually, from Tampa. So, team timeout, great opportunity for sponsor reads. Sponsor reads, we have Resurrection Skate Shop. They are a full-service roller derby supply store located in Denton, Texas. Whether you're a beginner seeking a rookie package or a seasoned vet needing an upgrade, we are committed to finding the perfect gear for you. Come visit us at the booth this weekend, or you can visit them at resurrectionskates.com, I believe is their website. I've looked at their website. They have really cool logos. It's like this really awesome sugar skull. They have I love their stickers. I have one on my mini fridge at home.
I have one on my finger. Well, not a sticker.
Just a skull.
Just a skull. A sugar skull.
But they have these really awesome sugar skull stickers. You gotta check. Go get yourself one of those.
Do they have varying sugar skull stickers?
I think they only have the one.
Oh, okay.
But it's like their logo.
Oh, very cool.
So
as a non-skater, I'm not super familiar with that, but it sounds cool to me. I might have to get one for my my car.
You got to go check them out. They're really good. Run by local skaters here in the area, it seems like most derby shops are.
As well, they should be.
Weapon X, a Dallas Derby Devil skater, kind of as one of the founders there.
Very cool. Well, look at this. We're starting this one off as we knew was going to be a power jam, and Sassy is quickly through the pack as I stutter to score 5 points for Texas.
Dottie Damage is released from the penalty box there and re-engages with the pack, star in hand. That Texas 4 wall, trying to rotate around. Burger Queen staying nice and close as Dottie Damage, maybe looking for that star pass. We do have a Texas blocker headed to the penalty box. That's black 31. And I can't read it. Snow stopping. Reading rosters is hard.
Sassy just mountain points. Going to end up with 13 points in that jam. That's a 13-0 jam for Texas, stretching that lead out to 97-62 over Tampa. At this point, we got a timeout.
Official review.
And there's a 6:36 left on the clock that you cannot see at home.
It's an official review called by Texas at this point. So if you are interested in talking to us, giving us a little bit of information, an update, a really cute picture of you and your cat watching some derby, maybe a dog. We're cuddling with some dogs. I'm totally down for that. On Twitter, hashtag BChamps2018, hashtag Go Big or Go Home 2018. As always, there's the Talk to WFTDA hashtag. Come talk to us. We love feedback and hearing from you. And there might potentially be a little bit of a shout-out in there if we get something good.
If I get my thumbs to work.
Yeah.
Come on, thumbs.
I'm working on pulling it up. You know, I got a little we were taking our announcer photo, and I got a little distracted and didn't get everything quite ready. I am, you know, on top posts for Go Big or Go Home is your picture with the PR Armageddon doppelganger on top. But on the latest, we do have a shout out from PR Armageddon. Speaking of, you know, hanging out here. But meanwhile, on the track,
we have Dar Binks jamming for Texas and Riot Raham capturing lead jammer for Tampa.
Yeah. And again, we have Vile Vixen headed to the penalty box. I'm not exactly sure how many penalties that is for her, but it's quite a few. Actually, both pivots sitting now as Burger Queen has also joined her. Tampa going to go ahead and choose to call that off. It looks like a 3-point pass there for Tampa. So it's going to be 65-97 for Texas. 65 for Tampa, 97 for Texas. 5:40-ish left in the first half. Going into jam number 17, each team a pivot down. So we're going to start with a 3-3 pack. Stout going up for Tampa and Sassy for Texas.
And we got a jam line start, and it's a pushy-shovey contest. A nice glob of skaters.
Oh,
now we have a
Sassy with a matrix move, trying to stay up, but is unable to. Stout going to pick up lead jammer there in turn number 1. Stout coming around and engaging with that big Texas 4-wall there. Sassy is going to complete the initial pass. Looks like a back block penalty going to Stout.
All the while allows Sassy to tiptoe that outside line in turn 2, scoring 4 points coming through the pack. Texas tries a little offensive move to get through the blockers, and highly effective to move that pack, freeing Sassy through for 5 points.
Sassy with 9 points already, looking for more, but gonna go ahead and call it off, or try. But Sassy is not lead. Stout got lead earlier and then took the penalty, so lost lead. So we did not have, we no longer have a lead jammer. It is going to be a 2-minute jam. Texas down 1 blocker in the penalty box. Oh, Stout, with a huge hit on Vile Vixen, and that is going to draw an illegal contact penalty on Stout. So it's Stout's second for this jam.
Yes.
Sassy with a little mohawk move there around snow stopping for a 5-point pass. So right now we've got 14 points for Texas. Stout with 0, as Stout has spent a majority of this jam in the penalty box.
Trying to get through that initial pass.
Sassy on a track cut. So Sassy's only going to have to sit as much as Stout did on this last penalty. I didn't look over fast enough to tell if Stout was standing before that jam was called. Well, Stout left, but that was because Texas's jammer was going to go in. So Stout was released. I don't know where that is. We're going to have an official timeout and figure that out.
Let's talk about it.
And I needed that too. So I have an update on the official review that Texas took a couple jams back. Texas was looking for an illegal procedure on Black 10 for leaving the penalty box as the jammer with the helmet cover in her hand. They were saying that that the helmet cover was not visible, but the officials said that no, it was visible, so the review is not retained. And that is one clarification that I think we had in the rules. Was it this year or last year? That you must maintain a certain level of visibility. Now, what that level of visibility is unclear. But visible is a subjective qualification there.
Basically, I guess if you can see it in your hand and it's visible to somebody, that's visible. I mean, whatever amount of material.
So jam number 18, Stella knockout up front with 1 less to beat for Texas. As Tampa kind of did some passive blocking there.
Stella applying some battering ram
offense.
type tactics to get through that pack.
First time for 3 lead jams in a row for Tampa. Well, for either team. Sassy with the star off, looking for that star pass.
Fake.
I don't know if it was a fake or not. For 48, spread eagle.
Fake me out. We got a multiplayer block.
090 for Tampa. That's Moulin Rouge. It has been rude. It has been rude. Wow. Star pass completed for Texas. Spread eagle, now your jammer for Texas momentarily as the jam is now called off. It is a 4-0 jam in favor of Tampa.
We got a 114-73 score in favor of Texas. About 150 left to go in this bout. On the line, we're going to have Rehab Rejects skating up against Delirium Trigger.
It seems like this game is a
goofy.
It's the story of power jams.
It surely is.
It's like the momentum swings with each of these teams as the power jam happens, and that's, if you can keep your jammer out on the track, you can contest those points.
Right. Most definitely.
Delirium Trigger for Texas right now with the star. Trying to get that's a straightaway jump-ish thing. Big shirt whip and ripped the jersey.
That's a shirt whip rip right there.
For Terabyte. It definitely tore. Poor Terabyte. Wow, these jerseys have been put through a lot this weekend. I feel like we said that
Yep.
in Atlanta a lot as well, as the shirt whips have becoming a more and more popular thing. High block on 021 Rehab Reject. So another power jam going for Texas. Texas taking a lot of advantage of those in that last jam with Stout taking so many penalties. Delirium Trigger taking 10 points so far and looking for more. Texas 124, Tampa 73 as it stands right now.
Less than a minute left in this jam.
And 27 seconds left on that period clock. So jam clock right now longer than our period clock. We do have a lead jammer, so that could change.
Push. Breaking out. Delirium stretches out that pack.
Red Stiletto was trying to do her absolute best with that one-on-one blocking up front, but just at some point you stretch that out.
Tampa's been doing that pretty good this whole first half. It's stretching out that first blocker at the head of the pack.
The bridging has been – we haven't seen a ton of out-of-play or illegal positioning penalties, most of them being more illegal contact. So it has been pretty we've seen that very prompt bridging where we're not getting those penalties. Delirium Trigger pushing really hard up front. That was White 93. Helitrix was trying to do some offensive blocking.
That will bring us up to halftime with a total score of 133 Texas and 76 going to Tampa. That last jam was a 19-3 jam in favor of Texas. Wow. That was kind of an eventful first half.
It doesn't the eventfulness of the first half does not reflect the score. I feel
no, not at all. Not at all. There was just a lot of little odd things and moments going on. It's kind of cool, kind of fun, kind of different. Kind of left me in awe a little bit, in wonder.
A little over 14 minutes left in this intermission. We will see ya in just a few. Go.
Yep. Come on back. We'll see you soon. I'm just here testing the microphone. Test.
Okay. Excusez-moi.
Test. Test. Test.
everyone, welcome back. We are a minute and a half left for our first whistle right now. I am RPG.
Hey, I happen to be Christopher Walken.
And we are here with you for the Texas Chainsaws going up against Tampa. Sitting at 133-76 coming in from halftime.
We have a minute left till our first whistle.
Yeah, so a few stats for you. Tampa at 24 penalties, Texas at 20. But what's interesting about that is that Tampa has a higher lead percentage. So Tampa taking 11 leads while the Chainsaws only taking 8. But the points per jam ratio is where it's kind of interesting because Texas is getting 6.7 points per jam while Tampa's only getting 4.
Yeah, it's a points per jam difference, that's for sure. The ratio is 1.75. And that's kind of the lead jammer percentage for Tampa is higher, but I see that Tampa has, I think I calculated 8 or 9 penalties on their jammer rotation, while Texas only has 3.
Yeah, so because you've got quite a few for Tampa.
Right.
You've only got 3 penalties for Texas overall. And what is that?
It looks like it's 11 for Tampa. So by appearances and numbers, Tampa is getting lead, going to a box, creating a full 2-minute jams, and then Texas benefiting from those power jams by keeping their jammers out of the box.
Speaking of jammers, Delirium Trigger, that's 2113 for Texas. And that is Riot Rayham for Tampa Bruise Crew. Delirium Trigger picking up lead, already has 5 points and is looking for more. Does get them 4 more, 9 points. Gonna call it off. So Texas at 142 to Tampa 76.
So, hey, if you want to communicate with us, go ahead and send us that hashtag Go Big or Go Home 2018. Or you can hit a little shorter line, hashtag BChamps 2018. And we really look forward to reading your cat pictures and your Doctor Who distractions from watching Derby. How dare you? How dare you watch Doctor Who? But,
well, okay,
priorities.
I've got to give you that. My
nerdy
self has to give you that one.
Nerds!
And I'm so proud of you for finding a way to squeeze Derby in. And I hope you're keeping up with the score as best you can. I think we are doing score updates in the comments. And we will try to continue to keep you as updated as possible. Right now, we have Stout for Tampa going up against Sassy. Stout picking up lead jammer, and Sassy just right there on turn 2 completes the initial pass. Texas with 1 blocker in the penalty box. That's me shove you long time. Four points for Tampa. So Texas at 142, Tampa at 80.
Conversations going on behind us. So on the line for Tampa, we'll have Stella Knockout skating up against Thugs Bunny, number 13 for Texas. Tampa with a 4-3 blocker advantage on the track and a nice slow jam line start as the whistle goes. Tampa pushing at the front of the pack, that 3 blocker wall of Texas. As a Tampa blocker falls on Stella's skates and allows that blocker to gingerly get up, allowing Stella to get up.
Saw a penalty somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's on the white jammer. Thugs Bunny gonna have to sit in that penalty box, as well as Black 3-1. I don't have my roster in front of me.
What did you do?
Snow stopping. No, I handed it to somebody to try to get me the rest of my officials because they only gave me half of them.
Yeah, we have NSOs, but no skating
officials. So I'm trying to get that final list for you so I can give all the due.
I see
all the
War
credit.
Kitten. Thank you, War Kitten.
Where all the credit is due. So jam comes to a conclusion.
We're at 5-0 on that jam for Tampa. That's a Texas 142 to Tampa 85 score. We got 26-25 left to go.
And just like that, my roster appears with all the things written. So we'd like to give big shout-outs to Megahertz, Patricide, Arma Fatale, Ricochet, Molly Slammin, Wolverine, Just Eric, Pastor of Muppets, Megahertz, War Kitten, Zimini Zoldat, Duncan, Jazzberry, Ice Queen, Pyro the Dragon, Pete in the Pool, and Ding Ding.
So we have Cookie Jard taking lead jam for Tampa at the same time that Thugs Bunny was released out of the box rather quickly, and Thugs has made way past the pack. Got a wash of blockers at turn 1, and Cookie Jard calls that off, staving all points for Texas. That's a 4-0 jam for Texas, bringing the score to 142 to 89.
Riot Raham and Jar Jar Binks lining up there on our jam line.
We have a full contingency of skaters on the track, so it's like we're beginning a new game. Not really.
Not really. We
Not
still have
really.
a 53-point differential sitting in front of us right now, which so far we've had the max differential be 66. We were at 57 when we came back from the half, so kind of just a little under what we had at the half. Track cut on Tampa's jammer.
That's right.
Raham, yeah.
Black 23, Riot Raham.
Jar Jar Binks with a star stash to complete the initial pass is putting it back on her helmet.
White 68 penalty for a forearm. That happens to be
Huff Love. Jar Jar Binks finally cutting around Snow Stoppin' on that outside line to pick up a full 5 points for Texas. Yeah, and there is no lead jammer right now. There's no official pointing at a jammer, so I'm going to say there's no lead jammer right now. So 54 seconds left on this jam, and we have Riot Raham back out of the penalty box completing the initial pass.
So Riot Raham more than likely had picked up lead jammer at the time that she picked up a penalty. So that's where we're probably more than likely going to go the full 2 minutes.
Riot Raham with a no pass, no penalty, 4 points. So Texas with 5 points on the jam so far. Tampa with 4. Texas at 147. Tampa at 93. Jar Jar Binks up front with 1 Tampa blocker, maybe 2. I think there's just
trying to stretch out that pack.
I'm trying to see around Ice Queen right now.
A lot of bridging going on by Tampa. Nice successful, slowed Jar Jar down, eating up time off the clock.
White 14 cold case headed to the penalty box.
Unfortunately, that long bridge for Tampa doesn't allow them to provide offense for their jammer, who was stuck at the back of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. 6 one way, half dozen the other.
10-8 jam. Texas at 152, Tampa at 97.
On the line, we have Stout for Tampa, skating up against White 32. That's Sassy. And Sassy tiptoes that inside line, grabs lead jammer. Stout breaks out at turn 1, about a quarter of a track behind. And Texas now has
so many penalties.
Yeah, so many penalties. They have 2 sitting, and 1 will be on the track in queue to get back into the box. So Tampa will start with a 4-2 blocker advantage for, well, at least 30 seconds plus until that third blocker is called into the penalty box. All the while, Stella Knockout is jamming for Tampa.
And it's Thugs Bunny
It
for
is
Texas.
Thugs, yep.
Thugs Bunny picking up a lead jammer for Texas. And it looks like we do finally get that third Texas blocker sitting in that penalty box with the other two being released. The jam comes to a conclusion as a 0-0 jam.
So, again, the score hasn't changed. 156 Texas, Tampa 97. Just about 21 minutes left in this bout. We have Dottie Damage lining up far behind the jam line, skating up against Delirium Trigger right on the jam line. Dottie wants to get a little view to see, let things develop, which sometimes is a good strategy depending on the kind of jammer you are.
Delirium Trigger up on one toe stop with a hop to get around the final Tampa blocker. Lead jammer going to Texas. They're
and we have a star pass.
3 in a row.
Star pass going off to Burger Queen.
It's 241. And that's third lead in a row for Texas. Kind of trying to change a little bit of that momentum.
Star pass.
Burger Queen has received quite a few star passes this weekend for Tampa.
She is the Tampa star receiver of choice.
It's been Burger Queen, and I'm trying to remember who else I've seen. I feel like I've seen Rojo Grande take a few of them.
Yes, a couple, yeah. But by percentage-wise,
yeah,
big percentage has been Burger Queen, for sure. On the line, we have Dardar Binks for Texas and Riot Raham for Tampa.
Ooh. Riot Raham. Oh, that was so pretty. The whole pack gave her like half of like maybe 6 inches, half of a foot maybe,
and
to like get through that and squeeze through it.
We got Dardar with a star in hand, being recycled back to the apex, the first apex. All the while, we have 5 points scored by Riot Raham, bringing them over the century mark. Oof! Number 226, Terabyte with a nice hip to Riot, sending her flying into the infield.
Looks like we have a star pass on Texas to Cold Case. 1-4 for Texas.
Cold Case is allowed out of the pack. Released. And there's your star pass whistle to end the jam.
Looks like Terabyte taking a seat in the penalty box.
So we got a 160 to 106 lead for Texas. Tampa scored that last jam as Tampa led that last jam 9-0. On the line we have Stout. And
going up against Sassy.
Sassy, number 32. Stout, like a bull, pushes that pack quickly out of turn one and grabs lead jam as we have a wash at the first apex, and Sassy trying to back the way out of the pack and does so successfully for the initial pass. Stout garners 4 points, calls it off. So that's going to be a 4-0 jam in favor of Tampa, bringing it to 160 Texas, Tampa 110 with just under 18 minutes left to go. So we're at a 50-point game difference currently. So Tampa is slowly chipping away at that stone at the high difference of 66 points. Time will tell if they get a couple good power jams to bite into that difference and make this a more competitive game. Stella knockout on the line for Tampa. And we have Thugs Bunny rolling for Texas.
Still a knockout up front with one left to beat. A bridge coming in there from Texas, and that was number 14 for Cold Case.
And now we have a race going on for jammers. Looking for those points and then call it off is Stella. And it will be, is that 1 point? 1 point. 1 whole point.
So right now, Tampa winning the second half so far. Texas Chainsaws with 27, Tampa with 35 in the second half alone. 6 lead jams for Tampa, 4 for Texas. It looks like they've kind of backed off a little bit on those penalties. They've only had 1 so far, while Texas has had 6 in this half.
So we got Cookie Jar on the line for Tampa and Delirium Trigger rolling for Texas. We're seeing more and more Cookie Jar and a little less, I don't know. They've used 6 jammers, it looks like, so.
Cookie Jar taking her 3rd jam.
White 1-7. Directional play sends Bacon Envy to the box. All the while, Cookie Jar grabs lead jammer out of the apex. Star in hand for Thugs Bunny. Cookie Jar able to pirouette her off that block from Me Shove You Long Time to get past the pack. We have a whistle on the court. It looks like we got a multiplayer block being assessed to 241. That is Burger Queen. I'm so used to her putting on the star.
Well, she's still wearing that Pilvet stripe right now, so still ought to be able to recognize her.
It can still happen.
So a star pass for Texas right there at the end to 210 Vile Vixen. Got to be careful with that, though, because Vile Vixen is on 6 penalties right now.
Yeah, that's one thing we didn't talk about coming out of the halftime.
Yeah, Vile Vixen, one person in trouble. The other person, it looks like number 41, Tampa from Phoenix. Phoenix from Tampa. There we go.
Tampa from Phoenix. Phoenix from Tampa.
I'll get that. I'll read those in the right order eventually. With 5 penalties. So a couple people with 4, but no, they're really the only ones in real concern. But yeah, with Vile Vixen being a very common pivot for Texas, Texas does have to be careful with that. Track cut called on Riot Raham. Spain going out for Texas. I think this is Spain's first time wearing the star for Texas. I don't see her.
I think that's what I have also. Yeah.
I don't see her anywhere else on my things.
All the things. And making way through the pack, Spain has scored 5 points. All the while being released from the boxes, Riot Raham. We now have a clear box, full 5-on-5 on the track. Now the walls will brace. Got a full diamond going on at the Tampa.
But we do have Terabyte coming up and doing some offensive blocking for Texas.
And falling on people.
I think Terabyte's going to take a forearm penalty there. Well, and we're also going to lose a 446 red stiletto for Tampa. So
might have been a back block possibly. Unsure.
But just blocker penalties all over.
Blocker penalties. Yeah, yep. Covers them all.
Yeah.
The struggle is real between turns 2 and 3, or 3 and 4, but looks like
Riot is able to complete that initial pass after the penalty. So Spain picked up 5 points. There's a thumb there. 5 points. Well, 10 total for Texas. 170 for Texas, 119 for Tampa Bruce Crew. 13 minutes left in the half, going into Cham number 14. We are 1 blocker down still for each team. Team timeout coming in for Tampa.
So, yeah, we are now in the 4th quarter, and it's time for Tampa to pick it up. We have been floating around that 50-point differential mark, the 50-point gap, I should say. If they're going to make a push, it's time to push now to start chipping away at that stone.
We started at 57 coming back from the half, and we've gotten down to 41. It looks like it's the lowest we've gotten down to so far in this half, coming back up to a 51 point. So it's maintaining.
Tampa had a stretch of leads that helped them out.
It did help them out. Right now, Tampa's got 43 points on the second half. Texas has 37, so it's really hard to kind of, when you're keeping that so consistent, it's hard to make up some of that ground.
That's for sure. Yep.
Lead jams 7 for Tampa, 5 for Texas in the second half. Scoreless jams. We've got 9 scoreless jams for Texas and 6 for Tampa.
Nine penalties on the chainsaws compared to 4 for Tampa this half so far. And that's unofficial, folks. But we're doing the best we can. Well, at least if it's not right, it's close to right, we'd like to think.
So everyone back out in that whistle, bringing us back. We've got 4-11 taking the star for Tampa, and that's 32
Sassy.
Thugs. Yes, Sassy, excuse me, as I
Sassy.
go to the wrong one. Sassy for Texas, picking up lead jammer. Penalty box has cleared. I said it. I'm sorry. Hey, there were no whistles in the first 5 seconds. I'm going to call it an announcer win. Stout completing the initial pass as Sassy's pushed to the outside, has to recycle back. Sassy's going to call it off after picking up 4 points.
So we got a call score 174 to 119 after that 4-0 jam in favor of Texas. Right at 12 minutes to go. Looks like on the line for Tampa we'll have still a knockout. And that is, looks like Thugs Money on the line for Texas.
So it does look like we have lost an OPR to go talk to the Tampa bench. It looks like they're sending someone over to visit with our medics, potentially for a concussion check or something like that. Officials can send skaters to go check with our medics. They won't actually hold them out for a concussion protocol, but that's the decision of our medics. So just making sure everybody's keeping their noggin safe. Stella knockout being called on a back block penalty. We have Thugs Bunny on the power jam and lead jam for Texas. 5 points so far on the board for Texas, sitting at 179. And that is going to be another fistful of points for Texas.
Tampa bracing for impact. Thugs makes Jukes right, makes Tampa go right. Jukes back left, takes that inside line, scores another fistful of dollars for Texas. So that ends that jam. That's a 15-point jam for Texas. That takes them up to 189 to 119, and coming up on 10 minutes left in this half. So yeah, that put us at a 70-point gap.
So 15 points being the highest scoring jam so far this half. Delirium Trigger had a 19-point jam for Texas in the first half, though. So our high scoring jam for the game is still 19.
We got Delirium Trigger on the line for Texas, and Dottie Damage rolling for Tampa, and Delirium has taken lead jammer relatively quickly off that whistle.
Texas losing White 8-3.
We have a star pass for Tampa. That's going to Red Stiletto. I think that might be the first time Star's been passed to her. But what do I know? Oh, look, we got the big O. We got an official review going on for Tampa. What's this all about? We shall find out soon, I'm sure. Wibble wibble?
Right now we have a Spain kind of floating back on the line for Texas.
Texas will start the jam with one blocker in the penalty box.
Assuming that all of the official review things stay the same. We are in an official review. Assumptions.
And if you can't hear, that's Johnny Peppers. I'm sure you're familiar with him. He's kind of loud in here. Well, not that that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. Hype it up, man.
called excitable.
Excitable.
That's the word I like to use there.
We don't give Johnny coffee.
No, Johnny's beverage of choice is Dr. Pepper. There's no need for coffee there. Actually, as I'm sitting here, I look down the table and there's one sitting right in front of him.
Big burgundy cap right on top.
Yep. I feel like Tampa is bringing out the banana phones into the middle of the track. We were joking with them earlier. The cell phone coverage in this building is particularly horrific. It's one of those metal buildings that just like sucks every bit of cell phone like signal out of your life.
But banana phones, highly effective.
Apparently, is the bench is telling us that banana phones are highly effective.
I think it's the niacin. So, for, as mentioned previously, Texas will be rolling out S. Payne, and Riot Raham will don the star for Tampa.
S. Payne in the back with Riot Raham up front. For those of you who have joined us recently, Texas in white, Tampa in black. Makes it very easy to see who's who.
And Riot Raham breaks out of the pack, which hasn't moved past turn 1 yet.
A bridge dropping back for Tampa to try to grab that, but then the whole pack kind of collapses on itself. Ryan Raham taking a track cut penalty puts S. Payne on the power jam, but as S. Payne has taken, Riot had lead.
Yes, she did. Right.
So 2-minute jam.
Yep.
We'll see what Texas can make of this.
Star in hand has been passed. Been passed off. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, it has not been passed. Excuse me. Pardon me. S. Payne has star in hand.
Tampa with one bridge dropping back. Vile Vixen going to come up and offer some offensive blocking assistance as Texas starts preparing
and we have an apparent pass to Vile Vixen.
Yeah, Riot Raham coming out of that penalty box and engaged with the Texas 3-wall in the back. Vile Vixen completing the initial pass. Texas losing one blocker to the penalty box. That is, funny enough, it's 133. It is going to be S. Payne, who was our jammer. I've seen that and that's another thing I've seen 6 or 7 times this weekend is the person does a star pass, hands it off, and then they immediately get a penalty. The first jammer immediately gets that penalty. It's kind of an odd thing.
And your brain's still thinking jammer.
So, Vile Vixen sitting in the penalty box for Texas. I believe that is her 7th penalty. She had 6 coming in from the half, and that was from the official paperwork.
Yes.
So,
well, there you go then. That solves that problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yes. Well, the good thing for Vile, we could say, is she will not get any more penalties the rest of the game. Good for her.
Yeah, but I don't see them doing any kind of.
Well, is she on the bench? Here you go. Here.
Penalty box.
Here it comes. Well, we shall see.
So Tampa Bruce Crew with 9 points in that last jam, sitting at 128. Texas at 93. Vile Vixen still sitting in the penalty box, so we'll see what happens here. Stout donning the star for Tampa. And we are losing, that is 226 terabyte for Texas. I must be wrong. I must have read it's entirely possible that I read the paperwork incorrectly because, my brain.
Things happen.
Yeah, so that previous official review, it looks like Tampa was requesting a back block against the white jammer. The officials found that the blocker moved into the jammer, and then that impact was incident. So the review was not retained.
So Tampa, during this jam, has done their job, Texas has done their job and held the Tampa jammer back, allowing Vile Vixen out of the penalty box to grab lead jammer. All the while, that whole jam, we went all that time for a 1-1 score. Bring us to a Texas 194, a Tampa 129 score. Just about 6 minutes to go in this bout.
White number 13, Thugs Bunny, donning the star for Texas, 6:20 for, and that is still a knockout for Tampa. Thugs Bunny picking up lead jammer for Texas.
And the race is on as Stella is quickly on tail.
That is Texas's 10th lead jam for this half. So Thugs Bunny with a sliding finish to that scoring pass. 2 points going to Texas. 196 to 129.
That cool, dramatic hop the apex, slide on the knees, call it off.
Yeah.
So smooth.
So smooth.
I'd break a hip. We're at Texas 196, 129 for Tampa. 5 minutes left to go. Just about 5 minutes to go as this jam starts. We're going to have 2-1-1-3 Delirium Trigger on the line. It's cooking up, jamming against Cookie Jarred.
With that 00. That's not even just a leading 0. That's just like all the zeros.
Is it just like, ooh, Cookie Jarred? Are you sure those are zeros?
Is that what that's for?
Yes, that's.
Now I feel like I have to go ask her after the game is over. I need to know the significance of your number, love.
I've determined a new way to introduce Cookie Jar.
Yes.
Ooh, Cookie Jar.
Forearm on block 31. That's gonna be snow stopping. Delirium Trigger out, lead. So it's a great opportunity for Texas. So it's going to be their third in a row, it looks like. Delirium Trigger up front with 2 left to beat. It looks like that is Smash Tag and Induce in Pain. Induce in Pain now left and trying to bridge that out, and finally does get the out of play block.
Induce in Pain, yeah. Sent to the box for the out of play.
So Delirium Trigger, 5 points for Texas. And a quick another 5-point pass. Cookie Jarred really getting stuck behind the Texas wall. There was a star pass there to 446 Red Stiletto for Tampa.
Terabyte applying a nice heavy shoulder to Red Stiletto. I think my sternum's bruised.
Jam comes to a close. 3 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock right now. Texas at 2:11. Tampa at 1:29.
It's a 15-point jam for Texas. We're going to have on the line for Tampa, Riot Raham.
And actually,
after this timeout,
the 15-point jam for Delirium Trigger is going to match with Thugs Bunny's 15-point jam for the highest scoring jam that we've had so far in this half. So a little bit lower as Delirium had that 19-point jam in the first half. So Delirium having a really good game today. 68 points so far and 57 for Thugs Bunny. Delirium with a 70% lead percentage. That's huge. 6.8 points per jam alone for Delirium Trigger. So when you're looking at the team overall points per jam, you've got 5.4 for Texas and 3.3 for Tampa. That's really where this kind of big point differential is coming in, as you've got a 1.62 point ratio, which is, about what we would expect with this kind of score change. Because we're almost dead even on lead jam percentages. Actually, we are dead even. 19 apiece for each team for our lead jams.
We haven't had a 20-point jam.
We haven't.
It's been chip. We've had a 19, but it's been a slow chip kind of jam with the occasional 15, 14, 10, 19-point jams, but nothing big and huge. So that means the defenses, even with power jams, have been relatively effective, I would say, in my humble opinion.
Number 23, Riot Raham jamming for Tampa, and that is 133 S-Pain for Texas. Riot Raham taking a penalty for a track cut. Will have to sit for Tampa.
She's not jamming now, is she?
S-Pain on the power jam with just Inducing Pain yet again to beat for Texas. There we go. S. Payne getting it in the kind of the end of the turn number 2 right there at the straightaway. Kind of that. Are we calling that turn 2.5? I kind of liked that 2.5. Like, it was really descriptive of the
at the elbow.
At the elbow, that place that it would be the jam line if the track was the other direction. I don't know what to call that. S. Payne picking up 5 points as Wright Raham comes out of the penalty box, star in hand. A back block to Riot Raham.
But obviously been
called back onto the track, which
obviously
with her trajectory was probably a good thing because that would have probably been a second penalty.
Yeah, she was skating off
the infield,
yes.
which is not a permissible thing. 10 points for Texas in that jam. Texas at 221, Tampa at 129. 1 minute and 17 seconds left. And just as I say that, Texas is going to take a timeout.
Timeout Texas, because, they got to get their stuff together leading by 91. So we have things to talk about.
Well, let's look at our bracket right now. Right now we're in Game 14. Game 14 is our 7th, 8th place game. So Texas came in at 7, and Tampa came in at 9. So Texas is going to be plus or minus right about where they came in. Tampa is going to get at least one seed higher in this tournament. Going to probably help their rankings a little bit. Our next game number 15, is going to be Montreal versus Gotham for our 5th, 6th place game. That should be so good. I am so excited for this game.
That will be fun.
Montreal came in 6th place. Gotham came in number 4. So I'm so excited for that game.
Yeah, the remaining 3 games of the day will be fun. That's for sure.
We're at Sunday now. Sunday's always the day where you start to see everything level out, and that the Derby just gets a lot better on Sunday because you're no longer kind of getting those really wacky matchups that are so uneven. Number 13, Thugs Bunny for Texas, picking up a lead jammer, just running right up on that inside line. The whole pack drifted to the outside and just took advantage of that being open. Stella knockout, 620, wearing the star for Tampa, excuse me. Thugs Bunny going to call off the jam, picking up 2 points.
49 seconds left on the game clock, so we will have one more jam.
Coming out on the line is 411 Stout and 32 Sassy.
Yeah, we got a 92-point spread, but I can't say that this game was played poorly by either team.
Hey, it's all about those rankings, though. Beating that point differential, seeing how much you can beat that point differential by. And even in tournaments like this, yes, your seed, keeping your seed is important because it does, at this point, it does look like Texas is going to take that 7th place slot.
Right.
Which means they're gonna come in and leave in the same ranking, that same seed that they came into this tournament as.
Right.
But that point differential is going to make a difference as to how they really come out and all these different pieces throughout the weekend. So, do you want to try to continue to push that score higher?
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's for sure.
Stout picking up lead for Tampa. Stout with a nice little duck on the outside line. Almost got them all the way through that, but we've got Sassy with the drawback. The pack is in turns 1 and 2. Sassy is all the way back in turn 3 and continuing to drift backwards.
The 3 elbow.
So we're at that kind of standstill of
everybody's going back,
waiting for the period clock to expire, which it has now.
Stout says, "What the hell?"
Stout calls off the jam, realizing that no one's getting anywhere anymore. It's just not going to happen. So 3 points at the end for Stout, and so we are at our unofficial score. Texas with 223, Tampa 133. So Texas in 7th place, Tampa in 8th. Moving on.
Tampa steps up a place, changing places with Rat City, who took a couple losses that won this morning, ended up in 9th place. Congratulations to Texas on this win today.
Yeah.
As the fans file on to get their free DNA from the skaters. Please, whenever you have the chance, when you're at a roller derby game, please participate in the DNA exchange. It doesn't cost anything, and it really does nothing to save lives or anything, but it sure is. It does help spread love.
Yeah, I am RPG.
I am Christopher Walken.
And actually, the two of us will be together later.
On house call.
On the house call at 4.
Yeah, we get to call the Angel City Rose game.
Oh,
Yay!
I'm so excited.
That'll be fun. So, yeah, stick around for Montreal, Gotham, Angel City later in Rose. And then our championship game later at the end of the day will be Victorian versus Denver. So
At
come
6
on back,
p.m.
stick around, go get your goodies, go watch Doctor Who. And
Gosh.
thank you. Have a great rest of the day.